Today I have this rather beaten up looking Marantz dual cassette deck. I can't really remember much about this one, but I found it on a pile of stuff and I thought, since I'm trying to get rid of some tape decks, might be trying to get rid of this one. Looks like well into the 90s. Dual auto reverse, Dolby BC NR HX Pro. Well, they don't all have the HX Pro on them. Dolby ABC, a few different reverse modes, dubbing speed, MIMO. Don't know what that is. QMS, is that music search or something? Probably a little bit better than the average sort of black plastic thing from the 90s. Line out and in, remote control in and out. So maybe it was made to go with the system designed and engineered by Marantz Japan. Produced under supervision of Marantz Japan in Singapore. It's a model 74SD535/02B. Don't mean much to me. Didn't see a lot of this later Marantz stuff around, but probably pretty reliable, so I don't think there would have been too much as getting repaired back then, even tape decks. But I guess, you know, by the time you get in the 90s, a lot of these tape decks never got much use. So they didn't exactly get worn out in the 90s usually, because everyone was getting into CD then. Depending when in the 90s, but later you get in the 90s, and once, like I say, once CD-ROM came out, there was no reason to use tape at all anymore, because you could record your own stuff. That was the main thing holding CD back for a long time. And that's a rather nasty old cover on that thing, so it hasn't been looked after. But that's quite a bit more circuit board than I expected to get in there, so there's quite a bit. It's a massive, that's a Dolby symbol and an HA12155NT, so I assume that's a Hitachi chip. We've got a Philips CMOS chip, we've got a Sony CXA1115, I think that is. We've got an NEC UPC1297, another Philips, we've got a great big microprocessor, I assume. F Japan, it's not Fairchild, is it? I don't know, it's one of these MB88626. You know who made those MB chips, but it's got an F with lines either side, above and below. More Philips 74 series chips. Then we've got some Motorola LM2904s, I think they are. This has got a bit of everything in it. But it is Marantz. I think they were part of Philips at some stage. Possibly still at this stage, so that might explain the Philips chips in it. But Philips weren't necessarily making that many consumer cassette deck chips and stuff by then. And we've got just a standard, is it Mabuchi's or whatever, EG530YD2Bs counterclockwise. And I think that's a 12 volt, isn't it? Oh yeah, 12 volt, 2000 and 4000 RPM. So they're not even 2400s anymore. They've got something stamped on the top, back 9602, that could be a date. But that one's got 9302, so I don't think that's going to be both one from 96 and one from 93, but you never know. BA5216 sounds BA5313. No idea. Guess I should look this up online before I even pulled it to bits, but I'd say this is certainly one of the later decks. At least this one's actually got a power cord on it, so we can plug it in, so it must do something, I would assume. Must have been sold as partly working and not just a complete parts machine. Ooh, we've got a fancy little fluoro display coming up. Well, we did have. Did I turn it off again? Absolutely filthy. Yeah, that's quite nice. Got some red bits, so that must have the VU meters on there at the bottom. Oh, there's little bits. Not the easiest to see. Tape counter, play on each side. So we're probably going to have to cheat and get this one, fool it into thinking there's a tape in there maybe. That was easy enough. That side seems to run. It's got the old swivel around heads. Change direction, that all seems to be fine, at least as far as mechanical function. And press the switch, it seems to be the one over there we need. This has got the, it's got another one in there. And it doesn't seem to want to work, unless I've got to do some secret combination. No, so they're both auto reverse here. One's just got the record playback. It's got all the copper screws. SCC on the boards, I don't know what that means. Got speed adjustment, high speed and high speed. I guess that's speed adjustment. Oh, it says H speed, N speed, sorry. Oh, it's an N, not an H. I was expecting two high speeds together. Metal bias adjust, record level. At least everything's listed. We've got a Mecha A and Mecha B. No, Mecha B, Mecha R. No, that's, oh, A Mecha, B Mecha. I'll get it right in a minute when I look at the right thing. Dolby HX. Listed, so they've listed some of the parts of the boards. Playback, equalizer amp, Dolby BC, noise reduction, record amp. Mecha feature microcom. B Mecha drive, A Mecha drive. Oh yes, that's Mecha feature micro computer. I guess they're calling it, not a microprocessor. Some sort of multi-pin regulator chip by the look of it. Let's put a tape in there and see if we get anything. I don't want to put the tape in because that's when it eats it. Oh, is this thing turned off? Is that what was going on? Well, it's running now, even though I didn't tell it to. Oh, that filthiest capstans in history in there, I think. Oh, there we go. And the head rotates, but not fully. That didn't look too good. Now this time it's gone, but it's stopping, so maybe that's just auto stop. Oh well. Next thing to do is plug it in and see if it plays anything. It doesn't look like it's got mech faults, surprisingly. Maybe this thing's just a beaten up wreck. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound very good. Ugh, it sounds awful. Well, this one you've got to press stop. The head's a little dirty, it doesn't look like it should sound that bad. That sounds as bad as well. What's going on here? Okay. Problem is I've messed the tape up a bit. What have we got going on here? Well, that was probably the issue with it. It sounds really muted and horrible. And I mean, neither head's what you'd call mint clean, but there's another tape here. Where's our greatest, oh, that's Dr. Hook. I think I want to listen to that, but our love song tape. They're sounding very disappointing. And a lot of wow or something too. Oh, it's, oh god, I think that's doing something nasty to my tape. What on earth was that about? Oh, it doesn't seem to have damaged it. Oh well, let's give them a clean anyway. At least on the heads. This one's got very filthy caps on one side. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually causing issues. It's so dirty. But they're not like overly covered. They're a light dirt and corrosion. I mean, quite a bit come off, so it's certainly not doing it any good. Let's see if I can get that capstan clean, because that is very dirty. It don't normally cause an issue, but sometimes when you've got really thick stuff, it can cause sort of mechanical issues or damage to the tape potentially, or something if it's got a real ring of, and this probably does. So someone's definitely used this deck a bit. Where's the, let's turn the capstan around by hand. That is caked on. These doors come off? I don't think they do. That's the problem with these later ones. Not the end of the world, but it does make life a bit harder when you're trying to clean the capstans when they're really bad. But complete opposite to a 70s deck, nice and simple, or relatively, and not much wrong with it. Even though it's a bit more boring to look at on the outside, it probably would have been quite a nice deck. This one probably would have sounded reasonable, but I think the mechs are getting more into the cheaper era. These could even be Danishins or something, but a bit hard to tell at this stage. It's sounding a bit better. Of course, the tapes have got all recorded stuff and things on them, so that doesn't help. Oh, that one's a lot, no, it was a lot better. Seems to be going all over the place. What is going on here? The levels are changing everywhere. Well, cleaning the head seems to have helped. I wasn't expecting it to make much difference. Maybe the pinch roller isn't connecting too well. Don't think that's the belts. Which one is it? That one. Oh, come on, you can do it. Capstan's still a bit dirty, but the pinch roller looks decidedly, oh yeah, it's doing something weird. It's decidedly rusty and it's bouncing up and down. That can't just be from muck on the, oh, there is still a lump of something there, but okay, well that's something you do not see very often, is the pinch roller visibly moving up and down as it well, if it goes around at the speed it's going, it's definitely not the capstan, because the capstan's going fast. The pinch roller, naturally being much larger diameter, goes relatively slower, and it's only like once a revolution on the pinch roller or something that it's making a bit of a scraping sound and going up in the air a bit, or down in the air I guess. It's moving around a bit. It's going down, not up, so let's have a look at that again. Guess I have to see if I can get that on the camera. It's sounding like it's slowing down. There's just no end to the different faults you can get in these tape decks. Yeah, interesting. Let's see, now can I get the camera in there to film that? The pinch roller's barely turning now, typical. As soon as I put a camera on it, it decides it's going to do otherwise. Let's try it the other way. Get out the light. It's not even turning now. Typical. It was turning, but with the slightest. There it goes, sort of. You can hear it rubbing on there. It was doing something like that, where it was going and then stopping occasionally, but whatever it is, it's seizing up even worse, so it's probably just the rusty bearing maybe. So it looks like we'll probably have to pull this thing to bits. Maybe I should leave that ejector line. No, I think the front will come off. Remove the power. Oh, how many layers of front have we got here though? Looks like there's an aluminium bit and a... Do I need to touch the... I don't know that I need to touch the aluminium one. Surely I could just unscrew that. Yeah, that end's coming off just from doing one screw. Here we go. That's usually more what happens. So maybe this has had some sort of liquid damage or something. And there's a bit of rust underneath here. Here we go. Inspected by Sumina. Cobb or something. There's a few different... I'm not even going to try and read those upside down, let alone pronounce them. Now, there's two screws down there by the look of it holding the plastic on. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but that's a bit different. At least they made it pretty obvious with a, well, they've covered one with foam, a couple of holes up here, and you can see them sticking out underneath. Look at that. Loader resistors. What on earth? That's something to do with the Dolby. Why do they need so many external resistors to their chip? That's like 6 by 6 by 6. 36 resistors for who knows what. That doesn't seem like a very efficient chip given the size of the chip. But maybe it's so you can set the parameters that you want. Leave it up to the customer. Now we're going to have to get rid of this earth. But hang on to that because it's going to fall probably when I do. Oh, so these decks here are completely separate to each other. So at least we don't have to pull both decks to work on anything. Done so many boom boxes lately, I was kind of expecting it to be that way. And what else can I do here? Should I be trying to pull that? It's got a cable tie around it. Got another cable there that can possibly go. What is this thing? This is probably going to be the most annoying part of the whole thing. That, oh, it's actual heads. And that's for the other deck. I really don't want to pull this other connector if I can help it, but I might have to, I think, because that's going to be a bunch of bare wires that can all be easily bent, and then try getting that many back in there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll just snip that cable tie off. Oh, actually we can get stuff through that. Doesn't matter though. Now let's just get rid of it. That way I don't have to deal with it being a pain, and I think we get rid of that connector might help. So that earth wire comes off there. I think I'll just work with it where it is. There's a metal bracket for the door or something. Belts seem to be okay in it, but I thought that with that Panasonic boombox and they weren't any good in the end, but they don't look too bad. So that earth came off the bottom one, it's the opposite on that side. Better keep an eye over on a few things like that. Now I don't think we're ejected, are we? No. Let's eject it. That gets it free. And there we have it. I have no idea who made that mechanism. I doubt it was Marantz themselves. Don't think it's a Tennyson mech. But I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. I mean, I must admit I never used to take much notice of decks. You just pulled them out and did what you had to do with them, put them back. It's only got a big number 6 through the hole there, and that's about it. I think that pinch roll is close to seized up. That one's free. Yeah, it's pretty tight. It moves and then it gets tight and then it moves and then it gets it to a tighter spot, which is pretty much what I was seeing originally. It was running for a bit and then stopping. It looks like we just flick a little clip there and it comes off. And yeah, that is pretty rubbishy. You can still buy these. Might be able to lubricate. There's green stuff growing on that spring. Let's come in lower. Yeah, so the pinch roller, you just sits on that post there. There's a little black clip there. Simply pull it to one side and off it comes. And it'll be the same on the other side with that one. That might go filthy. Probably could do with a clean. Can I grab hold of this motor pulley? Not easily, but I can put a screwdriver on it, I guess. Can I hold the actual just the pulley and not the belt? That belt is very tight and very grippy. I could just make it slip maybe a little bit there, so that's, I don't think that needs fixing. This on the other hand, this should just clip out upwards, I think. And that is a risk. You don't want to break the holder, but something's holding it in there and stopping it popping out, I guess. Should just be friction, I think. Ooh, ooh. Always hate plastic stuff like this because you don't know if you're going to break it or not. Oh. So I assume, oh, this whole piece, oh, so that's probably what's spinning now. Oh, the rubber, the plastic bit came out of the rubber. That isn't normal, I don't think. That might be a lot more damage than I thought. Well, at least we've got a second one here to compare it to. And yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, there should be plastic faces on that. They've gone. Surely they haven't worn. Oh, maybe they've worn off or something. What the? That might have damaged the whole thing if that's the case. This one's here got the usual little plastic faces that are probably wider than the rubber tyre. Yeah. Guess while that's out, we'll give that a clean. Probably should have got a new cotton bud too, but at least that one cleans up alright. Just press those back in usually, get the fluff off there, and that should just clip back onto the mech. Like so. Oops, didn't get that right. Need to come a bit lower. That's clipped on. I think the springs just make their own way. Yeah, it looks like the head lifts it up. This on the other hand is well and truly stuffed, I think. Probably because this central bit has seized on the plastic bit. Yuck, look at the stuff coming off it. It seems to have black stuff all over it. That's completely ruined. Looks like I was managing to get the pin to move a bit though. So in theory, if I lubed up that pin, we might actually be able to get, look at the rust on it. How thick is that rust? That's a good lump of rust on there. We probably can get it going again. I just threw a bit of sandpaper away. Where did that go? Luckily it missed the bin. Sat on the bench for months, finally clean it up, and I need it straight away. And that's got some sort of black stuff at the other end, as well as rust. Now this is it escaped. This is really not recommended, but just to get this thing going. I don't know if I've got any of those small pinch rollers. I don't think I've wrecked any modern decks with those in them. I think all the new decks use this kind of pinch roller. That's not really getting rid of that. I think we need some harsher sandpaper, to be honest. And you can see the rust coming off on the sandpaper. This is only like 1200 grit or something, I think. At least it won't do too much damage to the thing. Yeah, it's coming slowly. Oh, yeah, that's actually got rid of most of it now, I think. Well, that'll do just as a... That actually spins now. Spins quite freely even. Maybe if I put a little bit of oil on there, just to make sure. but I don't like oil and pinch rollers in the same thing, but just in the middle of that shaft, I guess. Well, of course it's going to move to the ends, no doubt. Yeah, that works. Oh, now I've got oil on the face of it. Lovely. Definitely you don't want that there, because that'll get on your tape, and then you got all sorts of nightmares on your end of all your cassettes. But at least if I can get some of it to stay where it needs to stay and then wipe the rest off, we should be in business. Problem is I've got it on my hands now. Oh, I can finish clean that off after probably. There we go. Yeah, the surface of this doesn't look exactly perfect either. Just make sure there's nothing on the outer surfaces here, because we do not want oil on our tapes. And have I got that capstan finally clean? It's pretty good, but it's still a bit of iron oxide coming off there. That one has got some caked on stuff. You can always tell by that orangey brown colour coming off them. But at least you can turn the capstans on the back of this. Okay, so that's all lubed up, that one. It's certainly going to be better than it was. Cleaned all the oil off, but it doesn't spin as free as the other one. But at least it should do for test purposes. Just make sure there's absolutely no oil on it, because that'll get on your tape and ruin it. So we'll put the deck back in. I've checked the belt. Nothing else I really need to do this thing, I don't think. It's in pretty good condition besides rusty pinch roller. A little bit of wow still, I think, but quite a bit still by the sound of it, so that is not sounding the best. Not sure I really want to put my test tape in there with that dodgy pinch roller, but let's just have a quick listen. Oh, of course it's not on the other side, is it? Doesn't sound too bad on either side. It sounded a bit wowy on that music. Could be the music. Maybe a little bit there, but yeah, nowhere near as bad as some of those older decks. So that sort of is going again, I think. Oh, we've got all the... Probably should turn all the Dolby and stuff off, because that won't help it sound nice and high and nice. Right down. That's why I don't like Dolby. I guess that's why they call it Dolby, because it dulls it down. So we've got Dull B, Dull C, Dull HX. How do we get this HX Pro thing to work? That bit seems to be a bit wowy. Let's listen to it on the other deck. Yeah, definitely still some wow there, which you'd expect with that pinch roller. Definitely has to be replaced. I mean, it's sort of running a bit round where it's slipping probably, so it's not going to run smoothly. That head still looks dirty or corroded or something. Must wonder if I shouldn't put a bit of metal polish on that. Sometimes just give it a really good scrub and we'll get it off. At least the heads I don't think have any actual physical wear inwards. No, there's still brown stuff coming off it. Amazing. Some of them are just so stubborn. And I haven't really cleaned this deck properly at all. Guess I should be careful when I'm poking my fingers. Usually these later ones don't have any 240 volts, so they're a lot safer than the... Or no 240 volts out to the front panels or anything. A lot safer than the 70s ones, which are designed to try and electrocute you, I think. And even the 80s ones. These tend to just go into the transformer, and then you got a couple of bare connectors back there, and that's it, because it's all sort of microprocessor controlled and stuff from there. So it's like just goes into a sort of standby voltage mode or whatever. Probably it could be a remote control, this thing, I guess. Oh, it had a remote in out on the back, didn't it? So it might just be via the main system. That might make it sound even a little bit better. Yeah, it does. So dubbing speed, record level, oh, auto up, down. QMS, continuous play. What is HX Pro? So I thought that was another form of Dolby. Memo. Oh, does that memorise a position on the tape, I guess? Reset the counter. Continuous play. Cue music search. Don't know how that works. Program 3. You think that would... press that, I reckon. Probably looks for the third... It's pretty good if you can go to the third track on the... I think I can hear something squealing away in the background like it's... Got the heads on the tape. No, it's going the right way. Oh yes, found one. Counted down to number 2. Would help if I actually put it on the camera. But we've got... And now we're down to 1. I guess 1 to go, and then it should find the next blank patch and stop. So that's a nice feature. Still slow as hell, I mean. CD, you just press a couple of buttons, click the button a couple of times and it's gone. Or if you got one like my Sony here, you've got up to 12 tracks. First 12 tracks you can pick by just pressing the button on the front panel, and then above 12 you just press that button, and I think it gives you like 1, and then you punch in another button and you've got the track number. So much more convenient. But I like that it's got some nicer features like that. And I guess the only other thing is we'll try some recording on it off the CD, wherever that's gone. Here it is. Okay, I looked up Dolby HX, and it's actually, well, the HX stands for Headroom Extension, and it's that little NEC chip there, that UPC 1297. I think it's a UPC. It's just got the C on there, and there's your 2 little inductors that are related to it. And all it does is on record it actually varies the bias signal so that the high frequencies, if there's a lot of high frequency in the music, it doesn't sort of oversaturate the head or the cassette, the magnetic material one way or another, and distort the high frequency stuff. So it's not a normal noise type reduction system like normal Dolby. So any tape recorder with that will just have better high frequency response, basically, especially on music with a lot of high frequency stuff, and it will just play back on any tape better because it just makes a better recording in the first place. So that's what that's all about. So it's been a long time since I looked into any Dolby related stuff. We'll try a bit of recording on this. Better get my blank tape, and better get a CD running with something on it. Some old, and if we go into, well, let's turn it on. Why's it got B? Oh, that's just tape B, I guess. So it goes in a pause mode, maybe to set us flat out as far as record level. Oh, what if we hit auto? No, it finds it. Geez, talk about coming on flat out. Can I change it manually? Oh, here it goes up. Didn't seem to before. So I hit play. Yeah. So you hit play after you hit record and set the level. So that's a nice system. You hit record, set your level, hit play to start the deck recording. That's probably better than messing around with pause buttons and all that sort of thing. And we've got our little fluorescent level meter there going. So yeah, generally get those level meters up until the red, up to the 0, and not flickering into the red much, if at all. I guess I should have hit Mimo, shouldn't I? I reckon Mimo would have got it back to 0. Channel, I think. But considering that's on that crappy pinch roller, ooh, it's not working very well. So if I hit rewind with the Mimo on, yep. So I don't know how good this tape's probably not the best condition after the amount of boom boxes and stuff I've done with it. I think we might move to a different point in the tape. This is a problem with cassettes, is they do go down in quality quite often after a lot of use and abuse and thrown around on the bench, and probably magnetic screwdrivers getting near it and who knows what. I guess we should start killing our love songs tape maybe and recording over that. Doesn't sound real good, to be honest, and I hope we haven't clogged up the head again or anything, have we? To be honest, there could be some stuff on the head again. I don't know, it's just some remainder of something on there from before, I guess. I gave that a good scrub while I had the deck out. There's a bit of something coming off. I don't know if we ever got this head fully clean. It's got a couple of spots on it of something. Yeah, it's still coming off. This is not right. Oh God, where did they stick onto it? Might explain why one channel's a little iffy, because you'll notice any issues on the record side of things much more than on just the playback. I need something harsher. So I'm going to put a little bit of metal polish on there. I mean, I don't have much to lose with this thing, really. I'm going to try and polish those last bits that teared off there. I mean, it's no different to a tape scraping off it, scraping over it, so a bit of polish is just like a, who knows how many hours of tape use. And I still don't think that got the last bits of muck off there. Actually, can I record in either direction with this? Possibly I can. So I can probably avoid the crappy pinch roller. Oh, there we go. Just got to press harder. So you can record in either direction, so that means if we've got a faulty pinch roller like in this thing, you can actually avoid it. Where's the reset button? And of course the counter goes backwards, is the only hassle in this mode, but at least I'm not using that horrible pinch roller, because I'll just say whatever effect it has will be doubled up on a recording by the time you play it back again. One of the many flaws with cassettes. Well, if they're working fine, it's not something you need to worry about. Okay, let's see if we've got some Nick Kershaw on here.
I'm sick of fighting, even though I know I should. The cold is biting, to reach another.
That seems to work. Sounds worse than the other deck. That deck doesn't play as well as the other one. Certainly not going to be as good as the CD, that's for sure. Oh, I've got to hit record to get that up. No, I can't do that because I haven't got a tape in there. Admittedly, it doesn't sound that great on CD anyway. That isn't that much worse, to be honest, because the original isn't exactly as hi-fi as I thought it would be. On chromium dioxide polygram, made in West Germany. That is definitely one that can go. I don't think it's looking any different. I did wind that one on a bit. Yeah, it is a little darker, the tape. Let's compare that to our normal, yeah, look how brown that is compared to the, well, chromium dioxide is what's used in VCR tapes, I think. So we're going to have to do the old modification of the record tab trick, which is find a bit of sticky tape and fold it over the top of the tape on the side you want. Eject. That's better.
I got it back. You don't know how bad we got it. You go together.
Now that should automatically switch to chrome, I think, I hope.
I got it back. You don't know how bad we got it. You got it. The grass is always greener.
Yeah, besides the level differences, that definitely sounds better. I know chrome was quite a bit of improvement, especially off CDs and stuff. It's actually got a polygram cassette case, so that's going to be a bit rarer than the usual thing, but yeah, chrome tape is a massive improvement.
Easy, you don't know when you
A high frequency response.
It's getting harder, just keeping life and soul together.
Doesn't sound like the best recording was on there anyway. So yeah, chrome is quite a bit of improvement over normal ferric oxide. So I think that's about it for this job for now. I'll have to see about getting another pinch roller for it. But it's got a few scratches on it, so it's really never going to be any good for anything, this deck. Just a bit too rough. But it's been an interesting little project at least. I'll have to get the muck off there. Yuck, that's terrible. Might clean up a little bit better, but not much. That's got paint or something all over it, I think. Or it's just ripped all the metal off, all the paint off it. Yeah, absolutely filthy. And it's got a big dent in it. But at least I know what the story is with that one now. So, thanks for watching.